consumer community on BRTV. My name is ALIYU, ILIAS.
Matters that concerns you as a consumer, where we educate you on goods and services and fight for your interests and protect your privileges.
The commission, does this. We do investigate
the bank. So when you lodge a complaint with the bank and after 2 weeks, maybe you didn't get a response or you are not satisfied with their resolution.
TSTV, connecting your world.
Welcome to Consumer Community, where we discuss issues that relate to consumer and consumer protection. As you know, definitely you are consuming something, and when you consume anything in Nigeria or even outside Nigeria, there should be a particular regulatory agency that monitor, manage, educate, and inform you about your rights, your privilege, and your interests. And that's why we have this program for you, discussing how you can enjoy your environment, how you can get value for whatever you are buying, and every other thing that relates to a consumer issue. On this special edition, I call it special edition because it's what really affects you every now and then. Perhaps you stay in a particular environment and you can't run from your environment. You rather manage that environment. And that's why today we have a director from National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency, NESREA, that is tasked with the responsibility of not only regulating and also to enforce what your interests is all about. Today I have with me Mr. DUTSE, SALKA, Director, Partnership and Education, NESREA. Thank you for joining us on Consumer Community today.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you're a consumer as well. Apart from being managing this organization or being part of this organization, you also consume a lot of things. I'm sure you have your GSM, you have your bank that you work with, and these are what part of what we are discussing. But today particularly, we want to discuss environment. As you know, environment, it's very, very important to us. If you have a very bad environment where chemicals take over, or you stay in a coastal area where things are dumped indiscriminately, you have really challenge living in that place. Perhaps some people say it will affect your lifespan of people in that environment. Can you tell us about what NESREA is all about and how NESREA is managing this environment we are in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to thank and appreciate TSTV for the opportunity given to the agency to come and further create awareness on our activities and our mandate. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESREA, was established in 2007.
25 years.
2007. And that because of the importance government places on environment, the law was amended in 2008. 2008. And then signed into law in November 2018 by the current President Muhammadu Buhari. And the idea is to further strengthen the work of our agency. So as you rightly asked, what is our mandate, what is our function? The agency was established with the purpose of developing and enforcing regulations in various sectors of our economy. And I will be pleased to tell you that to date, we have developed about 36 regulations.
36
regulations cutting across various sectors of our economy. And the idea is to regulate human activities on the environment. Whatever you are doing, you make sure that your activities does not negatively impact on the environment. We are hinged on the three pillars of sustainable development. And these three pillars are environment, the social, and the economy.
And the economy.
Thank you.
All right, looking at what you actually manage, we understand that business is to maximize profits. And if you look at Nigeria, will I say we are industrial? We are not industrialized to an extent, but at least we have a lot of industry around. And there is no way you will not see pollution everywhere. Maybe air pollution, even water pollution and what have you. So what is your agency doing to make sure that these are within what people can bear? Because people can just come to your environment and have a factory that you can see the flame everywhere. And so what are you doing to really tame that to at least a minimum level that people can bear?
Very happy with that question. As I mentioned earlier, we have developed over 36 regulations.
Right.
And these regulations cut across various sectors of the economy and are sector specific. For example, we have the textile industries. We have the food and beverages.
Right.
So there are regulations that are developed tailored towards.
Oh, so you are saying it is not a general.
It was one. It's
so
not
it
a
has
general.
specific intention to manage a particular
economy
sector
based on your production.
based on your production.
Yes. We have the tanneries, we have the textile, we have the food and beverages. So all these sectors we have developed regulation that ensures that your operations are conducted in line with the provisions of this regulation.
But do you make sure that these people are, is it localization of industry? You make sure that if you are into beverages, it is advisable that you people come together and be in particular environment, or you allow them to be at different places they wish to be?
No, you see, the issue of environment is on the concurrent list, which means states have a stake, the local government have a stake.
Okay.
So in various states of the country, we have what we call industrial layout. So each industry is expected to establish within a particular environment. Exactly. Provided,
just like the way we have
here, provided by the state government.
Okay.
While in the case of our FCT, provided by the Federal Capital Development Authority. So if an industry is sited outside industrial estate, there are specific guidelines that governs the operation. Okay. So what we do, back to your question, is we try as much as possible to establish state and zonal offices.
Okay. So how many do you have now?
We have 35.
Oh, apparently you are in different
states. We have offices in 34 states.
Oh, that's interesting. You have covered Nigeria.
We have almost
already,
covered.
Yes,
I think remain only 2 that we are yet.
Maybe those 2 are they have proximity with.
Not necessarily. I think operational challenges.
Okay.
Because to every office we establish, you are expected to provide certain facilities. So we are gradually moving.
But it's a good number. If you could have, we have other agencies that don't even have only 6 zonal office, and they call it zonal. That means by what do you call it, geopolitical zones. So, but this is your own case, so we expect you to bite harder. That's the expectation.
We do. That is why I was going to a question: how do we monitor? This our state and zonal offices ensure that regularly they monitor the operations of these industries, and in addition, we have what we call environmental audit reports.
Okay.
So environmental audit reports, these are documents that ensure that these industries are being monitored regularly. So when they conduct this audit report, they send to us. When they send that document to us, we review. Okay. What is your operation? What are you doing? Then we'll be able to identify your performance. If you are going below our expectation, we sanction you.
But we have common problem, maybe in particular, maybe will I say at the coastal area, or let me say Niger Delta. We have the challenge of a black suit. So how is this black suit, man? And it has been reoccurring over time. So what is happening that these people are not bringing to, we are not challenging them to make sure they tame this black suit that has been ravaging the environment. And people are suffering from it. Perhaps it's reduced lifespan of people. So black suit is a challenge. What is your organization doing about black suit?
The issue of black suit is not actually a direct mandate of the agency.
Okay.
We have a sister agency known as the National Oil Spill and Detection Agency.
Yes.
However, a few years back, there was a stakeholders forum in Port Harcourt, where NESREA, the NOSDRA, the Federal Minister of Environment, the State Minister of Environment came together. First, to identify what is the cause of this black suit. Where is it coming from? And then it was traced to this illegal bunk or oil, or this modular refinery that are operating. So it is
oil spilling.
It's oil spill. As a result of improper production, they use crude means. And the process.
But I could see they are arresting a lot of that now. In fact, was it day before yesterday, there was a lot of death recorded because of such illegal refinery. So having looked at that, with what we have discussed so far, we saw, if you look at the environment, you see waste everywhere. How do I mean? You see just a bunch of waste located in a particular street, on a road, you see a bunch of, what is it, or isn't the one within your mandate to make sure that, because this thing creates hazard to the environment, and, you know, flies pass through that, and, you know, cholera and what have you. So what is the organization doing to really tame that, because there should be a central place that all this there should be done. We could see a better environment in Abuja, because there's always a truck assigned to park this there. But if you go to countryside, you see that heaps of waste to be there, and it's challenging.
Thank you very much for the issue of waste management has been a very major challenge, not only to the agency or to the federal government, but as I mentioned earlier, the issue of environment is in the concurrent list.
Okay.
So specifically, waste management, by the provision of our 1999 Constitution as amended, is the role and responsibility of the local council.
Okay, local government.
Local government,
say, okay.
by the Constitution.
By the Constitution.
However, because of the enormity of the problem,
very, very enormous.
you see the states coming in, federal government coming in. That is why in NESREA, we came up with what we call Extended Producer Responsibility Program,
okay.
EPR.
Okay.
Extended Producer Responsibility Program.
Right.
The idea behind is, from the producer, you start to monitor the waste.
Okay.
You start
so it's even from the
from
source.
the source. You
so that you start managing
it from the source. So the Extended Producer Responsibility Program is a concept where the producer is involved, the consumer is involved, the government is involved, and the individual is involved. Let me take, for example, you buy maybe one of these juice produced by maybe Chivita and whatever. After consuming it, by the provision of the EPR, you, the producer, it is your responsibility. Instead of throwing the waste after consuming the juice,
right, yes.
you keep it.
Okay.
Then it is the responsibility of the company that produce it
to get it back
and recycle it.
And compensate you all for free.
For free. No. It depends on the...
because you know Nigerians, if you actually want me to return those things, by the time I pack those waste together, I expect maybe you now say, if you bring 50 packs, I give you one, you know.
There is that provision.
Because it's very, very, it should be encouraging.
What is happening under the EPR is you have the Producer Responsibility Program.
Right.
So this is not just like a private company,
yes.
of a private individual that will engage these people as scavengers.
Okay, yeah. So they will now pick it up
and bring it to the collection point.
The thing is, if like maybe Lagos, for example, or some places, you could see that when you are walking on the street, they will put one kind of place where you can be dumping maybe a can. You can be dumping it there, and they will come and pick it. It's another idea.
This challenge of dumping everything, you have the problem of sorting. So the sorting. So what we do is we encourage each waste be put in a separate bin that relates to that product. Okay. So that becomes easy for
sorting and
sorting and then
that's very, very encouraging. You know, consumer community, we want to look at how we can be well served, because most consumers always believe that you that are regulating are always towards this producer compared to saving the consumer. That's normal feelings that we always have. How can we change our mind on that direction?
You see, awareness is very important. That is why earlier I said I commend TSTV for bringing this idea. You see, the general belief is that environment belongs to nobody. It's anybody's. It is God that provided. That is the perception.
Well, I don't want to argue that. That's how average human being thinks.
Yes. Not knowing that whatever you are doing to the environment, you are doing it to yourself. If you are not doing it to yourself, you are doing it to generations that will come in.
Yes, please.
So that is why it's very important.
That's why we have climatic challenges.
So that's why it's very important. Whatever we are doing now, we should be conscious of the impact of our activities tomorrow. Our children, we want tomorrow our children to enjoy what we are enjoying today. And I can tell you now, there are maybe plants or animals that me and you that knew in the past. Our children cannot see it now.
They are out of
existence. The best is you see them in the pictures or through.
So are you relating that to environmental challenge as well?
It's a challenge. People don't know. You cut forest, you cut trees without regards to how you cut it. And we cut a species of a tree today. Maybe there are two that are existing. Without regard, oh, I should preserve the seed, or I should provide what, so that I will plant it and then it grows again, so that tomorrow our children can make use of it. But
right.
cut it to them,
have a look at all this good explanation and consumer education. Want to know how you also protect consumer directly, because sometimes we want to see you sanctioning people for having bad, and how do you get to compensate? Perhaps, and how do I complain if I have a bad experience in my environment?
One, in NESREA we have a DEX, public complaints. So if you are right, environmental right is infringed upon, you report to us. There is a unit that is responsible. Visit that site and see what is that environmental right that is infringed upon. Now, how do we protect the consumer? Let's take the case of electronics and electrical equipment.
Okay.
Some of these equipment are imported into our country either in the form of end of life or near end of life. Our officers are in collaboration with the Nigerian Ports Authority at the ports and entry points into the country. So either the customs or one of these regulatory agencies come across a consignment that they suspect contain this used electrical and electronic equipment.
But Nigeria is used to a consignment that are Tokumbo. We call them Belgium.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
Right.
And they come in consignment.
Yes, please.
They are kept on hold at the ports, pending clearance from NESREA. So the agency will visit the ports, examine the consignment, and see whether they have fall within or they have meet up with those regulations I'm telling you. There's a specific regulations, National Environmental Control of Electrical and Electronic Equipment.
Okay.
So the provisions of these regulations are being considered before those equipment are allowed for usage by our consumers. And after the use, under the EPR arrangement, you are not supposed to discard.
Okay.
You are not supposed to. You return it back to the consumer. And then the manufacturer. We have started that. So a few years ago, the agency actually repatriated a ship loaded with e-waste back to their country of origin, because Nigeria is a signatory
but like this good news you are giving us, is not what is all over the news, because
it is.
We want to see what you are doing and how.
It is. We are a signatory to the Convention on Diesel.
Okay.
Convention. So Nigeria is a signatory, so we make sure that we comply with the provision on those other conventions.
So what I'm saying is, it's not that you are not carrying it out. What we are saying is that when you carry this, you are supposed to blow it to an extent, to a degree that Nigerians will see that, oh, this is what is happening, and there should be consistent education on the standard we even expect to buy. Because if you go to all these, Lagos especially, and you see people buying these electronics every now and then, are you saying all those ones that comes into our environment are within the standard?
I told you earlier, they come in two forms. Those that have reached end of life, where we may not hear, we don't even allow them to come in. They are taken back to
so they are kind of expired.
Expired, so we don't even allow them to come in. Those that are near end of life, when they come in, we keep track under the EPR arrangement, in line with the provisions of the National Environmental Control of Electrical and Electronic Equipment.
Okay.
So those that have reached end of life, they are not even exposed to it. We don't allow it. Except maybe they get entry into the country through illegal means.
Okay.
But if it is through our ports, the customs are there, the immigrations are there, and other security agencies are there. Immediately they get hold of such consignment, they alert the agency, our officers are in Lagos, and they quickly run there and see. If they don't fall within, we don't even allow them.
Now, if I may also ask, do you have a particular segment or a particular way of educating Nigerians about all these good things that your organization have been carrying out? How do we get educated about it?
I told you I'm a director of partnership and education.
Yes.
So education, you see, what we do, there are various forums that various fora the agency has come up with. Annually, we have what we call National Stakeholders Forum, a National Stakeholders Forum,
Right.
where we invite stakeholders in the environment to come. When they come, we brief them, this is what we have done. And then we receive comment, response, feedback from them. That is one. We have also what we call National Regulatory Dialogue. Under the National Regulatory Dialogue is to have an appraisal of these, our regulations,
Okay.
and see where we are performing and where we are having
We need
maybe
to do more.
And then recommendations comes, and then we amend those provisions that seems not to be working for us.
Okay, having looked at what you are doing, I was trying to ask you then that how do consumers get to communicate with you? You know, it's very, very important at this age. Most Nigerians are on social media, on all these different platforms. So what are the platforms that you actually open? Because it's not every Nigerian that will come to your four-wall office to complain. Most of us, perhaps, if we want to give out such information, we wouldn't want it to be where we'll be confined to discuss such things. We want to just be where we just tell you via a particular platform and you take. So how open is those platforms to Nigerians?
Before now, the means of creating awareness has been the old method of appearing on television, on radio.
Yes, conventional.
Yeah, conventional means. But with the advent of this social media, the agency is on Facebook, we are on WhatsApp, we are also on Instagram, on all these social media.
Okay.
Then
Hey,
if you want to get to us through our website,
yes,
we'll give you.
Maybe before the program end, we will request you to give us those lists so that Nigerians can actually get to know it and know how to really get back to us. To you. Thank you for being part of the consumer community. We proceed on a break now. Kindly join us when we return for this beautiful program. Thank you for being there. Consumer community on BRTV. My name is ALIYU, ILIAS.
Matters that concerns you as a consumers, where we educate you on goods and services and fight for your interests and protect your privileges.
The commission, does this. We do investigate.
Bank. So when you lodge a complaint with the bank and after 2 weeks, maybe you didn't get a response or you are not satisfied with their resolution.
TSTV, connecting your world. TSTV, connecting your world.
Welcome back to Consumer Community, where we discuss consumer protection that take care of your interests, your privileges, and your rights in wherever environment you are. Today, like I told you, we are discussing with Mr. DUTSE, SALKA, Director of Partnership and Education, NESREA. And when we say NESREA, NESREA simply means National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency. How well do you enforce these laws and regulations? How well do you bring people to book? How well can you give us an example of organizations that have maybe abused the privileges, did not take to regulation, that has been sanctioned over time in Nigeria so far?
Thank you very much. As the name suggests, National Environmental Standards Regulation Enforcement Agency. A lot of facilities, defaulting facilities, have been sanctioned by the agency. So many. I can vividly recall between 2000 and 2021, we sanctioned over 100 facilities that violated.
Is that not too small compared with Nigerians, companies take advantage of Nigeria?
Before now, nobody sanctions.
Yeah, but that's why you are there to...
I'm saying before the coming of the agency.
So I was expecting thousands.
Look at the period I gave.
Okay.
Between 2020 to 2021, just within that period, within a year, we were able to sanction over 100, and it's ongoing. And I'm not even giving you the current data of this year.
Okay.
Yes. So it's an ongoing exercise, As I mentioned earlier, we have offices in 34 states out of the 36, plus Abuja. Our officers in the field are regularly monitoring the activities of these facilities and organizations, individuals that violate our environment. And you know, the issue of environment, one thing we should know is that it is not only the responsibility of government. Everybody should be involved.
It should be everybody's business, but you see, most of those people are they not too big to be sanctioned?
No, that is why the strategy we adopted is we engage non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and we came up with a voluntary scheme, the NESREA Green Corps. The NESREA Green Corps is a voluntary organization, a voluntary
national
scheme.
in nature, in
It's national in nature.
Okay.
It's national in nature. It's a voluntary scheme that enlists the support of voluntary individuals that are prepared to render services on environmental matters to their community and state.
Is it in secret or they could do it publicly?
It's public.
Oh. Because you know, there are some things that you just have to like...
No. What they do is, in the course of their interaction with the environment, when they come across any organization, individual that abuse the environment, they report to us, to the nearest office of NESREA, and then we take it up.
So looking at what affects day-to-day, what affects Nigerians day-to-day, if you look at our environment, you see some vehicle passing, and while they are passing, you see this heavy smoke following them. I think it's part of your environment. So what because we see it daily, I must let you know. It's even far better in a federal capital, Lagos, you know. But if you go to countryside, these things are rampant and people suffer this over time. It even causes acidic rain and a lot of things in the long run.
The agency is aware of that, and it's part of our mandate to ensure that we monitor the quality of our environment. Based on that, the agency initiated 2 programs. The first one is the National Generator Emission Control Program.
Okay.
The second one
so
is...
my neighbor that is disturbing me with generator.
You report.
I should report my neighbor?
You report. Then the second one is National Vehicular Emission Control Program.
Which is the main thing.
We are in the process. It requires stakeholders' participation. The state must be in, the federal must be in, the VIO, road safety. So it's ongoing. Currently, our Director General is going around the country to seek the support and collaboration of the state government to key into the scheme to see that this issue of vehicular emission is controlled.
But I think in the issue of vehicular emission, maybe what we expect as consumers is that we should have a particular number, because when a vehicle is ahead of me, I can easily recall the number and call your organization that this vehicle is on so-so street and this is what is happening. Perhaps it could be a toll-free line. I think that will encourage us to complain the more.
Our numbers are in the public domain.
Well, are they toll-free? Because that encourages us to do more.
I don't think we are toll-free, but I want to believe we may get there.
We expect all regulatory agencies to have a toll-free line, because I am sure I can mention like 5 of them that have toll-free line, because we agitate for it and say there is need for, because I want to give you information and expect me to trade off my money to call you. But if it's a toll-free line, I know 444, you know, like one is 6224 NC, and so if I can easily call this number, hello, I'm on so street and I have this vehicle, the smoke is everywhere, you know, your enforcement agency can easily go. If you do that over time, before you know, all these organizations, all these vehicles they will be very, very aware of what you're doing, and just like, you know, normal enforcement.
It's a very good suggestion, but as I mentioned earlier, we are in the process of implementing these 2 schemes. So hopefully we may go there. But I would like to let you know that these regulations that I was telling you about, before now, they were on sale. You have to buy. But as time goes on, we realize that why selling this thing that the consumer. So we decided to go online, and online are free. You get those.
Online is always, but you know, it's not everybody that is social media savvy that will do that. But before we round up this program, I'd like you to discuss about coastal area. You know, it's another very serious issue. If you look at our water, the dirt on it is even more than the fish on it itself, and it's giving us a lot of challenge over time. Then maybe we just wake up one day and there will not be fish on the sea. So what are you doing to that? Okay. Because all this plastic, everything move into this coastal area.
Thank you very much. The issue of environment is dynamic, and it changes over time.
Right.
We realize that the issue of plastic pollution is a global problem, and not only Nigeria. It's a global problem, and I'm pleased to inform you that just about 2 weeks or just last week, the World Bank was in our office. And what was the subject of discussion was how to control marine and water pollution as a result of our dumping of plastic waste into our water. So we have taken it upon ourselves as part of our mandate to start the process of developing a regulation on plastic waste control. It's in the pipeline.
All right, thank you so much. I'd like you to just call out your details, especially social media, and so that Nigerians can have what to call you through, how to really engage your organizations.
Thank you very much. For the public, our headquarters is located at number 56 Lome Crescent, Wuse Zone 7, Abuja. Our phone number 0814 609978. Another line 0815 7416462. I repeat 0814 6099778. The second number 0801 574 16462. Our social media, you can reach us through our Facebook, NESREA Nigeria, Twitter, NESREA Nigeria, and our email is dg@nesrea.gov.ng. dg@nesrea.gov.ng, and our website is www.nesrea.gov.ng. The public is free to reach the agency through any of these channels.
All right, thank you, Mr. DUTSE SALKA, Director Partnership and Education at NESREA, that is National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency. Thank you for being part of this program. I will definitely be engaging you further on consumer protection, especially as related to environment. Thank you for being part of the program today. But before we go, today we'd like to discuss the difference between customer service and customer experience, because we expect we to understand the difference, and also company especially to know that we have moved beyond customer service to customer experience. When we talk about customer service, it is purely reactive, while customer experience is proactive. For customer experience, it shows that you have captured what I intend to ask. And for customer service, it means you wait for something to go bad before you get back to me. At this age, customer experience has come to take the lead, and it will continue. So if you are still in the age of customer service, people will leave your business to go for customer experience. I'll give you a good example. I'm sure we all know that there's a particular superstore that we have turned to a tourism center now, simply because it gives us a good experience. Even with their ambience, they have thought about what we do. Perhaps most of us will go to that place and started taking different pictures because of the experience it has given to us. And mostly, very soon, people will even prefer experience than the price itself. So be customer experience savvy and serve people right today. Thank you for being part of our consumer community, and thanks to Save the Consumer initiative. Thank you for being part of today's edition. Join us next edition. Thank you. Consumer community on BRTV. My name is ALIYU, ILIAS.
Matters that concerns you as a consumer, where we educate you on goods and services and fight for your interests and protect your privileges.
The commission, does this. We do investigate
bank. So when you lodge a complaint with the bank, and after 2 weeks, maybe you didn't get a response, or you are not satisfied with their resolution.
TSTV, connecting your world.